Big up URT. This is the URT. Welcome to the URT. You are the URT. Big up everybody. Apologies that I'm late. I was at work. It is what it is. We're here, but we're live. Big up. Tonight, we're going to go back, so make sure you strap in because it's a different type of show tonight, where we'll also catch up with everything around Manchester United news. But you need to strap in, people. Strap in because it's going to get heated tonight. Because trust me, there was a lot of us at the time that were calling out the bullshit. I want right in front of the congregation, even though it's a Tuesday night and it's not a Sunday, whatever religious persuasion you are, we're calling all the Ollie bootlickers come right in front of the congregation because we were calling this out in real time and we were telling people that something is not right when it came to Tuanzebe, where Marcus Rashford can't even put the boot on and he's got broken bones in his back and he has to play, where Martial's career nearly ruined. Pogba, 1 minute he's injured, he's been like really badly injured, and then he's playing the next game against Rochdale in the League Cup. It's ridiculous, people. But in real time, there was only a few of us calling it out, and now all of us got vindicated. I don't even know what to say about Luke Shaw. I don't know when I have to change my mind about what I've said about Phil Jones. Maybe I owe Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, and a lot of these players apology because our medical department and this fucking football club is a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. And I told you, all different departments, all of them are absolutely places that is not fit to be a football club. One of the stature of Manchester United. We're branches to Manchester United. So a lot of you need to get yourselves at this realization. This ain't a fucking football club. This is not a football club. So strap in, people, because we're going to have it tonight. Big up to all those people that waited. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're a subscriber. But first of all, we say total solidarity and love to Tuanzebe. Total solidarity and love to Tuanzebe. Because I can only imagine, like, what this must be like for him. Because people don't understand, we're going to get into it, Jamie Wayne, is that he's going to sue because he had to adapt and play in a different way because of the medical fucking advice he was given. Because the way the football club were treating players in that time, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in because obviously it was the outside and it's like, this place is soft. This place is tough. He came back into a different fucking football club, the football club he left. The football club he left was the one that was stable, where player welfare was at the paramount. Regardless what you say about Fergie, yes, people used to get injured, but he also used to make sure that actually their welfare and their safety was at paramount. And he would only play them if they said to him, I'm fit to play. Yes, majority of footballers always have a niggling injuries. They all have niggling injuries. They all play with niggling injuries. That is part of football, part of sport. There is not one sports person that you could say ever played as a fit, played as 100% fit. But there's a big difference between that and career-defining injuries, or career-altering injuries, or career, like, what's the word? Like, it's the word that I'm looking for, where you are like almost cut the growth and the development of a footballer because of the injury, because of the medical advice that you gave them. So big up Lesso. I hope you well. I don't know what you were saying when Ole was here, but do you remember a lot of players having to play with a lot of injuries? But I hope you well, bro. How's the weather in South Africa? We're back to rain and cold in Manchester and in the UK. But how are you doing first?
Well, it looks like it didn't last that very long on your side. Yeah, on my side, it's still cold. I think it's gonna be cold till September. But big up to the chat, big up to everyone, and solidarity with everyone who's going through something right now. And yeah, it's bad at Manchester United. I guess we've got more news. I think you're on mute.
Do you remember at the time where certain players were getting play while they were injured?
Yeah, definitely. During the time under Solskjaer as well, we forget that Rashford actually as well went through it as well. It actually changed his game as well slightly, if you think about it. He used to have blistering pace, He can no longer do that with all those back injuries that he was forced to play with. So yeah, the medical team, I think more or less we took. With Manchester United, it rings of it's a very dangerous place, and the sheer lack of incompetence, it's astonishing because it puts people at risk, puts careers at risks at this point. They're trying to cut corners in every sector within the organization, and I can't understand how this is actually fundamentally allowed. And that's why I say Manchester United there needs to be a serious inquiry into what is really happening within the football club, because I think there's a whole lot more damaging things that are happening within, and every day it gets worse and worse. We find bits and bits of information. Obviously with the medical team, we already knew how bad it was, because players were actually complaining as well. Never mind that they've been brought in too early. They've been wrongfully diagnosed in terms of their injuries. That's why some of them you didn't even know what was wrong with them. We've been fed information that was non-existent, and yeah, I think a serious inquiry needs to be done within Manchester United. It runs deeper. And I am for all these players who are suing, and frankly, I think every one of them whose careers were cut short because of this need to sue. It's within their rights. There's too much negligence happening behind closed doors, and I don't think these guys, they've been investigated till this day. Some of them leave these jobs. You don't know what they were actually. Some of them, are they actually even qualified? Because these things need to be looked at. I think these jobs of the boys, we like making jokes out of this thing, and it's an actual problem within the football club. It's an actual problem because it reeks of corruption. It reeks of all things that, malpractices within businesses. And Manchester United are hitting that by far above any other football club I've seen personally. And it's not a joke. We laughed about it. It's fine, but at this point, it's not. You know, people's careers are at a huge risk right now because of the football club, and others that have not found any justice, unfortunately, have been they've been at the hands of the club. Their careers has actually died out. And so I'm all for anyone who wants to sue and get rightfully what they deserve, because what this football club has done to them needs to be put in question, my guy. So yeah.
What do you think now, other players? Should we look at Bill Jones in a different light now? Even the current player like Luke Shaw, should we look at them in a different light after this revelation? Because I don't know if you remember, Lesso, I don't know if you were watching Saeed TV, because I was calling it out in real time and I'm telling everybody, listen, there's something dodgy going on with Tuanzebe. How come we didn't see him for a year? All of a sudden, he's a man of the match, one of the best performers. We see him against Mbappe in the Champions League, and then we don't see him for nearly 2 years. What the hell was
Mm.
going on? I remember I was calling it out, but do you remember people calling it out at the time, going, what the hell is going on? What's wrong? Do you remember Ollie talking about being robust and all of that BS? Do you remember the time? Because I've got a
Yeah, I
really good
remember.
long-term memory.
I remember. Funny enough, you mentioned it again. I mean, Saeed mentioned it again on the Street Jacket podcast. I remember firmly when you said that. And I was also with that notion because, well, at Manchester United, we're the only football club where we actually discuss other people's positions within the football club. You don't see a lot besides us now. You don't see other teams really go into depth, in within what's happening with in the organization. Manchester United is the only one, because everything that's happening there, it's very astonishing. The medical team. That's why I say that there's probably some malpractice right there that's happening, and people don't know it. And unfortunately, it has to take them taking us to court for this to be actually out in the open like this. And I'm all for it. I'm all for anyone who wants to rightfully get what they deserve. more or less, and hoping that it doesn't happen to any more players that come into this football club. And those who are currently suffering, your Luke Shaws and your, and your Phil Jones that we used to laugh about, they're victims of this. You look at it differently. And I think we did know that there was just not there's just nothing normal about what was happening with the likes of Luke Shaw and, and as well as Phil Jones. That's something deeper and sinister was actually happening right in front of our eyes. We just refused to see it because, we are much more worried about, what's happening on the field a lot. And now, as we go in depth in within the football club, you realize that it's so sunken. It's amazing, and it's shocking at the same time. But we knew this. We knew this job for the boys, and with this job of the boys, there's no one who's qualified. I think if they actually do their investigation properly, which I don't think they'll do because Manchester United is a money train for them. They're looking at this new stadium that's coming in, and they're thinking we're also gonna get the piece of the pie from that. The government is looking at that as well. So for them, they don't care. Man United is a money train. Hence why I say malpractice can happen, but as long as you get in the government and you're bringing in money and revenue, you're always above the law. Unfortunately, rich people are above the law, and what the organization makes for the generates and would generate for the government, for the UK government, right now with the whole stadium plans, they're gonna look. They're gonna side eye this. They're gonna try and crush it as quickly as they can because that's how corruption moves. Where there's money, that's where your trail is. So I think it's just gonna be one of those where they're just gonna brush it off, and it's unfortunate unless more and more of them come in and it becomes even more publicized. But other than that, I think it's gonna be brushed under the carpet very quickly. They're gonna try and manage this as quickly as they can. They do have one of the best PR teams in entire football at the end of the day. So I can see them trying to spin this, and in whichever way to make people forget. But we know what we know at the end of the day, Noradine. We know what we know. And I don't blame the players anymore at this point. It's this institution all in all, and it breeds such incompetence. So yeah, I'm just when it comes to this football club, and it's disgusting on all levels. Never mind the pitch. We can deal with things on the pitch, but now we've sacked people. We've treated our staff badly behind the scenes. We've literally treated everyone like that they didn't matter. Like they're rubbish, pretty much. So this is not a family football club like it used to be. Everything in there is rotten, and I don't think people who are currently working there want to be there anymore. To be honest, and yeah, it's just disgusting. And I remember you mentioning this. I remember perfectly.
Yeah. People, we just started a poll. Make sure you get involved with this. I said, should more players sue Manchester United, Manchester United medical department? And do you remember Ollie's robust BS talk? Ollie came in and was just thinking, oh, these people are soft, they're soft. I'm like, nah, mate. The football that you played back in the 90s and the early 90s was totally different to the football that they were playing a decade ago. The game was a lot faster, a lot faster. The boots are not the same boots that you wore. They're a lot thinner. The design of them, the pictures were a lot more different. The level of amount of running that needed to be done was totally different, especially when you haven't got technical footballers and technical midfielders. So yeah, it's mad, people. It's genuinely mad. But yeah, get involved. Yeah, please, and also smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, people. Go ahead, Lesso.
And he forgets that they play even more games nowadays. Footballers are literally pianas at this point. They play a whole lot of games than they used to back in the day.
Yeah, 100%. Big up to Ash. Ash said, I got my son a ticket to his first game against Burnley at the end of August. I don't want to go now. I don't blame you, lad. I genuinely don't blame you. I think, though, I genuinely do think you have to take him and you've got to, just say it. you've got to just genuinely just put that aside and let him enjoy it. You know what I mean? That Ash, that that steps up to coming out into the stadium, into the ground, looking around at the amazement in a child's face for that first game is a big thing, man. In a young person's face for the first game at Old Trafford. So they let him enjoy that at least. You know, the football club is not, you have to explain to him, this is Manchester United. This is not Manchester United, yeah. But honestly, no word of a lie, I'm not bigging myself up. It wasn't just me. A lot of us were calling this out in a long time. Let me just tell you something about Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe was somebody who captained every level of Manchester United, every level. He was an incredible athlete. One of the fastest centre-halves I have ever seen live, ever. His recovery pace was unbelievable. And now, because of the injury, that massive injury he had to his hip, he's had to change how we played. So at the end of the day, people, I really do not understand. I really do not understand where people are coming from. I really do not understand where people are coming from. So people just need to really, really think hard and understand what's going on and understand that many of us were suspicious, incredibly suspicious at the time. I was calling it out. I was like, there's something going on with the medical department. Because you tell me once the last time you heard a Premier League footballer trying to sue his club about medical negligence. You tell me. I'm not putting it all on Ollie. At the end of the day, the medical staff should have put the medical staff. They're there to look after the welfare of the player. They have to go against the coach and say, no, he cannot. And people moan now. People go, well, nowadays, look at these footballers. It's because so that they don't stunt, that was the word I was looking at, stunt the growth and development of a footballer like Tuanzebe. So they don't stunt the growth of development of a footballer like Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe, most likely, it might come out in court. He's had to change the way he plays. He's had to maybe change and like train in a different way. Had to change the way he trains. Had to change, because that's what most likely the suit's going to be about. That this has altered his career. This has completely altered. He did not just cut his development, but he's also altered his career. So this is what we're talking about, people. They say, would you trust Manchester United with your son or daughter if they were a footballer? Would you? I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't. I've said this before and I say it again. If it's a duty, if a friend of mine, if a friend's son, I was so glad that my friend's kid, Iqbal, left Manchester United. I swear to God, I was glad. I was really glad. I was like, you know what? Better off go and learn to develop your game because you're not going to be able to do it at Manchester United. Like, big up to Khalees. I'm going to just, because I feel really passionately about this, I'm going to get some of the quotes and I'm going to star them and save them and bring them into the rest of the show. But big up to you for bringing in the news. Big up to one of the chief editors of United Real Therapy, Sheikh Arian Rashid. Make sure you give him a follow on X. Big up to him, though. But yeah, I really feel passionate about this. People, there's over 100 of you in here. Smash a like. Our target for the stream tonight is 150 likes, so let's do this. At the end of the day, the cases take 2 years to build, and he has to have he's having to. You have to have experts who, in a court of law, can definitively argue the case that Manchester United medical department, Manchester United medical advice, damaged you and your career as a footballer and your development and your growth. You have to be able to argue that. People are like, why is he suing now? It's because he's had to build the case. Him and his lawyers have had to find experts in the injury that he's suffered to go and say, this is what he was. And he has to look back as well. The advice he was given at the time, maybe try to find it in an email, maybe try to find it in a text message, maybe try to ask Manchester United for a file, his medical file, to look at what happened to him, because footballers have medical files. Footballers have medical files. And that's one of the reasons why coaches and clubs can sometimes say, no, we're not going to release what happened to him because it's confidentiality clause in this country. that medical is confidential. Person's medical is very confidential. So he has to be able to prove. He must have his medical record at Manchester United. He must have it, and he also must remember the advice that he was given to be able to bring this suit. So don't get it twisted. This ain't just a win. This ain't just oh yeah, I'm gonna sue them because my career is not. It's because I have disappointment. This is nothing to do with that. Him and his lawyers and the people who are advising him have had to look up experts to back up what he's claimed, his lived experience, what it was like for Manchester United. Yes, yeah, yes, Windy. We remember. He went to Diego Dalot was getting a lot of injuries. Remember also Lukaku, what Inter Milan said. Lukaku, they were like, wow, what were the medical department doing at Manchester United? You were allergic to all these different foods. You were fed this diet, and you were heavy in it. Remember Lukaku after the first pre-season, after he was there for a while, we saw a different body shape to Lukaku. So when people like me were calling this out in real time, people were calling me fucking negative. People were telling me stop moaning. I'm sorry, but I was calling this out, and many of us were calling this out in real time. And I was having arguments with people on Twitter and on YouTube, telling them there's something happening. Big up Aaron. Aaron used to do the podcast with us, who sometimes comes on the Mandem. I was telling him, he knows Tuanzebe. He knows Tuanzebe. I was saying to him, what's happened to Tuanzebe? I was like, something dodgy has happened. Nobody even would talk about it. I was like, what's nobody talking about it? All he would be asked questions, and it's like, oh, he's injured. Or even I was like, no club statement. They probably gagged him and said, do not say a word. And then it was like, he almost like Tuanzebe went missing. And now, all the different things and all the laughs and jokes that I've had, obviously a lot of it wasn't serious. It was just a bit of a joke in terms of what's his name? What's my boy's name? Phil Jones. It must be because if you had that medical advice and that medical department. Another case I'm going to give you is that we played Arsenal. Pogba was injured, hobbled off the football pitch. The next that was on the weekend. I think it might have been a Saturday or a Sunday. We played Rochdale on the Wednesday or Tuesday. I remember I was at that game. It's where the kid scored, the 16-year-old schoolboy. He scored a goal against Manchester United in the League Cup, and then he went to school the next day. Yeah? And Pogba played, and you could see Pogba limping around the football pitch. And then he was out for a long time. And Pogba actually went and sought his own medical advice, right? And then went to Dubai to train by himself because he didn't trust the physios, he didn't trust the medical department at Manchester United. Talk to me. Yes, that kid, Luke Matheson. So, and then what about the injuries that Martial was getting? Well, Martial's been played while he was injured. I was calling this out. There was nothing more I find fucking frustration less so than when I played at the lowest, not even professional, I was even worse than amateur. I played Saturday, Sunday League. I never played when I was injured. I swear to God. If I'm limping around, I'm a disservice to my teammates. How can I look at my teammates in the face and I'm limping around? I'm not getting around the pitch as I would like to. I'm not getting into challenges as I would like to. And when you're a professional, even amateur player, you're doing a disservice to the people who come to watch you, to yourself, to your family, and to your teammates, to the coach. If you're not fit, get the fuck off the football pitch. Go recover, come back, and then give it in and give it your all. Don't play while you're injured. That's what I hate. It's one of my biggest bugbears. And that's why I would always talk about the medical department. And people would try to argue with me, telling me, now you don't know what you're talking about. I did a sports degree. I did a sports degree. I learned about injury and rehab. I've seen some of my friends, their careers ended. I can't play football anymore because I've had 4 knee surgeries. I've gone through injuries myself, and I realize how frustrating it is. So I'm trying to explain to you people, we were calling this out, and people were calling us fucking negative. Guess what? Nothing fucking changes. We're still negative. for telling the truth or asking questions we were not supposed to ask. Yes, Ole Gunnar fucking Solskjaer came into this fucking football club and thought they're not winning because it's not robust. Fuck off, you prick. It wasn't because of that. It's because the players, there wasn't a balanced team. Because we're run by the fucking Glazers, who you were fucking sucking up to week in and week out. Praising.
Facts.
You got fucking crimes against these players on your hands. Martial, never the same. Rashford, never the same. Pogba, never the fucking same. Tuanzebe, ruined. Nobody's having this conversation with you. People are like, oh, they don't care. We were calling it out in real fucking time. Real time. Say whatever the fuck you want about Rashford. He played with fucking bones broke on his back. He played. Nearly ended his career. After that Europa League final, he said, I couldn't even get my boot on properly. And Ollie was like, get out there. You're not robust enough. The football Ollie played, the club that Ollie played for and the club that he came back to, totally two different fucking clubs. Totally two different fucking clubs. Go ahead, Lesso.
Yeah, it's saddening. It's saddening, and you feel for these players. At the end of the day, you forget that these are human beings. You should not treat them like machines. And they need to be taken well. They need to be well taken care of. And our football club can't even do that, and yet we somehow expect to be a successful organization all around. You cannot, if you do not treat your staff well, and you do not give them create a space where they can be successful and be happy at the same time as well, then you're not gonna get anything. And unfortunately with Manchester United, in all, like I say, in all departments need to be investigated, because a lot of malpractice is being done behind closed doors, but they won't do that, like I say, because there's a lot of people who benefit from this club, and it's shown. So at the minute when they allowed even Jim to come in personally, and and over maybe like for per se Sheikh Jazim, you knew what was what, and their plan was a success. Unfortunately, it's all about money when it comes to Manchester United. When you're generating what we're generating, and nobody else comes close to this, without cooking books and all these other things. Unfortunately, this is the price we're paying. For as big as we are, we're paying this price, and a lot of bad business practices and a lot of poor welfare is going to happen, unfortunately, and it happens all across board. And I do think that there are people behind those closed doors who aren't qualified to be in the positions that they are. You don't even have to look far. The people who are CEOs right now, they've never been CEO at any other company before, but they are somehow at Manchester United. They are people who are DOFs right now. They haven't been DOFs at any top football club before, but Manchester United is a club where they can be there. So it's all dreams come true at Manchester United, basically. And anyone that goes there is basically an elevation to their career and their pockets. It's that simple. There's money. There's a lot of money to be played with around the football club. And and unfortunately it benefits everyone who has any sort of interest within it, hence why a lot of things are going to be overlooked. But because of this case, it has brought back pretty much what they tried to hide all this entire time, and their bad business practices, their malpractices, and the incompetence behind closed doors. And unfortunately, when it comes to medical, you cannot you cannot overlook that, and because it's people's lives that you're dealing with now. I mean, I look at Rashford. The Rashford one was very frustrating, because you saw, and especially when it comes to back injuries, you do not rush anyone, because those can fatally end your career, period, and even change your life all around. You may never recover. There are people who never recover from back injuries ever. It's something for life now. Rashford doesn't have that blistering pace anymore because of that back injury. So that has taken one huge aspect of his game all round. And you look back, and I don't really blame the guy. Maybe that is why they are toxic towards the football club, because if you don't treat your employees well, they're obviously not going to repay you in any sort of way or form or shape. So in everything that has been happening, and all things considered, I honestly look back at this a whole lot differently. In terms of how we say players are toxic, they come here and they collect money and all these other things. The football club creates the environment anyways, and they've also create the bad practices and then the ill treatment of these employees behind closed doors. So at some point, I'm kind of happy that some people actually they left the football club, they got sacked and they left the football club. But at the end of the day, you cannot write off the past malpractice. I mean, right now, an investigation is now being done, obviously, into the football club, and this is gonna go to court. Shout out to Tuanzebe, by the way. And it takes a while to build a case, and especially a case of this magnitude. And people thinking that you just wake up one day and you just open up a huge case against a huge corporation like this. You need to make sure that all sides are covered, so that they have no loopholes whatsoever to get out of their responsibility. So a case like this, of this magnitude, you need to do some due diligence and planning. And I think a whole lot of this case may open wide for more people to come forward, because they need to. If your career in any way has been affected by Manchester United because of this, and especially medical reasons, because that's the most serious part of the organization. If the organization does not look after its employees, and it leaves basically a dangerous environment where people can get hurt, or people, are forced to do things that they're not, their bodies do not allow them to do. That is a huge case. That is a case that needs to be addressed. And yeah, I think he needs this, and more players need to come forward. I'm shocked that Phil Jones never did it, to be honest. I would have expected him to be the first in line to be on for to go through and actually do this, because his career was affected. Like, literally, Manchester United ended his career. How many times was he brought back from injury? He was never allowed to heal. He was always brought back before time. And so, and we looked past that, and we thought the guy was here for a paycheck. But we forget that we have one of the worst, if not the worst, medical team, in the entire league. And if not, at this point, I would say, even I'll go as far as saying in football, because I've never seen this, to be honest. I've never seen people sue their medical team. And he's probably not the only one who's thinking about this. There's probably a whole lot of them who are thinking about this. So yeah, this football club needs to be torn apart. Honestly, I think everything needs to be let go of. The current management, past management, all of them. There's some who are still here. Not everyone has been gotten rid of. By the way, some people like to claim that everyone is gone. No, there are people who are here, even with the likes of Ed Woodward. So unfortunately, what is the next step going forward?
Yeah.
What is the next step for this football club?
I mean, it's not a football club anymore. I'm sorry to disagree with you, Lesso. It's Manchester United. Big up Imran Udin. No, it was a different doctor. He joined when Ten Hag joined. The Arsenal doctor got hired when Ten Hag joined. But yeah, and now we've got a dickhead like Jim Glazer saying, when I run a marathon, all I do is stretch. And he started sacking physios. He's sacking physios. So even to add more insult to injury, we've got this clown who doesn't understand anything and who tells you, well, when I jog, I just jog. You're just jogging at the slowest pace ever, mate. What are you on about? But yeah, honestly, I'm telling you, Malacia, that's another player in recent years. Malacia, people. Malacia was, remember the reports at the time, Malacia felt like the club misdiagnosed him. And then he didn't trust the club. He had to go and get other advice. He had to go somewhere else to get a proper diagnosis of his injury. Remember that Martinez being rushed back and then he broke down again. Like, Kwame, I don't know what you try to say. Players are getting injured on purpose. Nothing new. I don't know what you're talking about there, bro. I think majority of footballers want to play football. I would like to think that majority of footballers like to be out on the football pitch. I know this for a certain. Majority of sports people in the world at the top level, none of them are 100% fit. But there's little niggles and aches and pains then to serious injuries that alter the player's development and the way the player performs. There's a big difference. It's fucking day and night. We're not talking about players being little bit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about serious injuries that alter people's careers that they don't have because of some dickhead manager. And I just want to explain. Big up Ben for joining us. I just want to explain the fact that the dynamics that happens in football clubs. What most you don't understand, even got 100 likes yet. We've been live for nearly 40 minutes. Come on, mods, get on it. Let's sort it out. Let's get to 100 likes ASAP. What people don't understand, Leso and Ben, is the fact that the dynamics is that the coaching staff and the manager and the coach put pressure on the medical department saying, can you not get this player fit? I need this player ASAP. I need him to be fit. So now I 100,000,000% understand what's his name? Cavani. I apologize to Cavani. I apologize to Cavani. Remember, Cavani was like, they were like, oh, you're fit to play. It's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because that's the practice at Manchester United. And Cavani was old enough and experienced enough to know his body and go, no, I am not going out here ruining the end of my career so that you can get me out on this football pitch. So the dynamic I want to explain to you is that in the old days, it used to be that the player just used to ask that certain players would not even would hide their injuries from the medical department and then go to the coach, yeah, I'm fit. Because a lot of footballers want to play. Sometimes you have to protect the footballer from themselves. That's all in all levels of sport, not just in football. And then you would have coaches and managers and coaching staff who would put pressure on the medical department to say, no. And there are actually, throughout the years, as the game became more and more professional, more in terms of health, health and safety conscience, that certain times people had to get insurance. I remember when I was a kid, Wes Brown used to play with us, right? Wes Brown used to play with us in the park. Then somebody told Fergie that he's playing with us. And then Fergie went mad at him and said, you're not insured to play with your friends. You're a professional footballer now. You're not allowed to do that. So as these standardizations of player welfare came into it, was totally different. So at the end of the day, now I apologize to Cavani. And the club will make it leak it and go, and make us all go, oh, Cavani is the prick. He don't want to play for us. He decides when he plays. We all got caught up in that. Because we would have win as fans. So we get manipulated to the part in the club going, we're all against the player. Why is the player doing this? What's the player doing that? So when I look back now, I think Tuanzebe, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, all these guys, their careers were ruined. Phil Jones. A lot of us owe Phil Jones a lot of apology. Maybe some of us owe Luke Shaw an apology. But also, Windy, the club were briefing something else, saying, putting it out there through the grapevine. Yeah, Cavani is difficult. Sometimes he doesn't want to play and all of this bullshit. But big up, Ben. How you doing? Welcome to the show. How are you? This is a heated debate because, trust me, I don't know if you were watching 3-4 years ago before even this channel. And when I started my channel, I was calling out the medical department and injury rehab department going, what the F is going on at this football club? Because I know people who work at Old Trafford. Every department was neglected. Every department was neglected. Every department. It weren't just transfer windows. It weren't just coaches. Every department in this football club was fucking neglected. And people like me were calling it out in real time. And guess what, Ben? I was called a conspiracy fucking theorist. And I was called toxic, some person who's toxic and negative. Go ahead, Ben.
Yes, good evening, Lesso. Good evening, Nerd, and good evening, Therapy Army. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe, people. Make sure you like if you're against Zionism. Firstly, free fucking Palestine of every second of every minute of every day. Um, you said this is a heated stream. Well, apologies about this, but I'm just gonna say a quick rant. And I look, I'm like a happy person in terms of like people can say I'm trying to be positive about Man United and stuff, but mate, for me, I'm happy that when I see Glazers and Ineos start losing money, where when Sir Jim was talking about in the interview with our Gary Neville that the club was actually about to go in debt, like out of money. I was that was probably like the best news I've fucking heard in the last 10 or 12 years. Hearing from that wee fucker's mouth, that that the club is actually near out of money. And you know what? I hope Man United goes down the fucking drain, man, at this rate, because see what I've just seen today, man. It's fucking pissed me off, bro. And I like, and you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that they're going to be getting them. Alexander Isak is on the verge of joining Liverpool. The best striker in the fucking world is about to join our biggest rivals in history. Right? They're gonna have Diaz, Isak, Salah. They got Kirkes. They got Verts. They got an insane back line. They got Frimpong. We have only got Cunha. Newcastle have got Elanga. They're in for Ekitike. I can go on. Fucking Arsenal have just bought Zubamendi, Norgard. They're in for Gyökeres. Chelsea have bought Delap, João Pedro, who just had probably the best game I've ever seen. Yeah, obviously I've watched Brighton, man, but I've seen probably frankly the best game I've ever seen him play against the best team in the fucking world, man. Kudus from Spurs, who just joined Spurs. Gibbs White, Spurs finished fucking 14th or 15th. They're at our level. They've signed 2 fucking quality players, not just squad players. They've signed fucking starters, man. And you know what, man? This fucking pisses me off. We've bought only Cunha. We're in the 15th of July. We play Arsenal in less than a fucking month away. What are we fucking doing? What the fuck are we fucking doing? It's fucking embarrassing. People, I'm saying it right now, John Murdoch's better than fucking this Jason fucking Wilcox. People keep saying this fucking man's gonna fix everything. He's not fixing jack shit. What are they fucking doing? The Glazers are better than fucking Ineos at this moment in time. The one thing, look, if Ineos were banned, say fucking, we linked to Jimmy Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, yes, we can fucking laugh, but at least they're fucking attempting to make signings for the fucking coach. They've told the person that they're backing the guy, they're going to back the man. They haven't backed him at all. So why the fuck are you keeping him? It's fucking embarrassing. He said to fucking Gary Neville, the club's near out of money. He said, but you have to take a very, very close look at it, Gary. We are we're purchasing Onana this season. We're purchasing Hoyland this season. Purchasing Mason Mount and Anthony. The clubs. We are making money here at this moment in time. You're making jack shit, man. It's fucking embarrassing. And do you know what? The 1950 are a fucking disgrace. See them? They're the fucking hall of shame right now, man. See them bastards, man. The fact that they go on and post a fucking tweet on the last game of the season, 20 years of guilt, all this shit, when there's only been 2 fucking protests a fucking year. We should be fucking down at Old Trafford at this moment in time and fucking protesting for these fucking vultures, man. It's embarrassing. Every fucking game, there needs to be a fucking protest. The last protest what we had was the best protest ever we've had. Because you know why? Because we closed the fucking mega store. We closed the mega store and it hurts their fucking pockets. Hurts the New York Stock Exchange. Hurts the Glazers' pocket, their fucking private jets. And that's Sir Jim Dickhead Ratcliffe, man. They're Sir Jim Glazer, should we say. It's fucking embarrassing. I can't believe Isak is joining Liverpool, man. This is fucking mental. City are fucking levels. Look, we're light years ahead. We could used to say miles ahead. They're fucking light years ahead. Light years is mental. Fucking mental. And do you know what? Do you know what, man? This fan base is a fucking disgrace, bro. We are like, it looks like we've had 6 or 7 bottles of whiskey down us, mate. We're fucking concussed. Especially the Bruno Fernandes fans. Says, oh, what are you talking about? We got Bruno Fernandes. He's gonna save us. He's gonna save us. This. We just had £115 million fucking offer, and we turned them down, man, because he's our star boy. It's fucking embarrassing. Why we? I don't understand. And look, I know Bruno Fernandes is not the sole person that needs to be like blamed, but he is a big blame. Onana's blamed. He's still fucking here. Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford. The list fucking goes on, man. We've got no outgoings, and people could say, "What are you talking about? We got Ericsson, we got Lindelof, and Johnny Evans." Fuck off, man. They ran out of contracts. We can't sell jack shit. We can't. We fucking can't. And it's fucking embarrassing, man. I'm getting taken the piss out of Liverpool fans today, all my mates. And I just said, look, lads, use our football club. We're a commercial club. That's what Louis Van Gaal said. It's fucking...
We're Manchester United.
We're Manchester United. We're Manchester United. And do you know what? Look, Amber might not be the guy, but honestly, I feel so fucking sorry for him. Because he's going like that. What the fuck am I dealing with? Rashford and Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, they're all arriving in the evening shift. They're not taking involved in the training. And do you know what? I'll give credit to Amram because he said, fuck off, you're not my plans, mate. Fuck off. But what's the people above doing? What's Mr. Potato Head doing? People said, what are you talking about? He worked at Manchester City. Wilcox worked at Manchester City. He's going to fix everything. Maybe Dan Ashworth was onto something. Yeah, he might have been a fool by keeping Ten Hag. He might have been onto something. People keep saying that Dan Ashworth's a fucking fool. He might have wanted out of this fucking shithole because it's a fucking disaster. I'm telling you right now, man, please, fucking please, Isak is about to join Liverpool, right? He is about to join Liverpool. Ekitike is about to join Newcastle. We, seriously, man, I'm begging this fucking fan base to fucking have some sort of brain and come together and fucking the start of the game. I want to see, okay, the mega store's opened. Okay, guys, come and get the new home kit. Come and get the new away kit. No, fuck off. No one's getting in. No violence. Not getting in. We're voicing our opinions on these fucking vultures. We're closing the fucking mega store. Every home game needs to fucking happen. And do you know what? Eventually, Sir Jim and the Glazers are going to say, get fucking someone. Get the police on them. I'm going to invest on the Manchester police to stand outside the mega store so the mega store can remain open. And do you know what? So be it. At least we damage them some sort because they make a lot of money in those home games. But it's just we need to see more, man. We're not doing anything. Like 2 protests a year is unacceptable for this fucking club. It's unacceptable. We used to sing Leeds are falling apart again. We're not falling apart. We've fallen apart since they fucking took over this fucking football club.
We've been falling apart for 20 years, Ben.
Yes.
Years.
And you want to see this medical? Onto the medical. We've seen this. I'll name players right now. As you just said, Edison Cavani, Lisandro Martinez, when we signed that fucking fraud, Gary O'Driscoll, who is still currently at Manchester United. I'll go over more. Johnny Evans, he had a really bad injury. Luke Shaw, De Ligt, when they said, right, am I okay to play for Manchester United or do I still need time off? No, you can play. He plays against Brentford. He gets fucking injured, man. What we've known this medical department for the last fucking 10 or 12 years, man. It's a fucking disgrace, and I'm so happy Tuanzebe is fucking suing them because I remember when Tuanzebe had probably the best game of his fucking of his career. It was against PSG away. He literally had Mbappe in his pockets. And I was like, where the fuck's Tuanzebe? Why the fuck's he not playing? Because we fucking knew. The medical are fucking... They're frauds. They told him, said, no, you can't play this, you can't play that, you can't... No, you have to stay out of this. Same with Luke Shaw. Look, we can criticize Luke Shaw. He's a fucking disgrace. I call him Mr. McDonald's. But you know what, man? The fucking... The clubs ruin him because they rush him back. And that's what we always do as a medical department. We rush players back. And... honestly, it does not surprise me that Axel Tuanzebe is suing them. I wish there was more players that are suing him, like Pogba. Paul Pogba. He's another big one. I remember him was something the problem with, I think it was his foot. I think Ollie was saying it. Martial, that's another big one. Anthony Martial. And, what do you call him? The defender. You could probably even argue, yeah, obviously, at a point he wasn't really injured because he was always trying to stay in the books. He was trying to stay off the radar to the fan base. Phil Jones had that big injury, and then but man, honestly, I'm just sick and tired. I'm glad I made my rant. I'm just fucking sick to death that Liverpool are signing Isak Newcastle are sending Ikatika, and we're doing jack shit. Like, this fan base is a fucking disgrace, man. I can't believe I'm saying that, man, because I love Man United. I love our fans. I think we have the best, like, away. I think we have the best away fans in the fucking world. And sorry, especially in England, we have the best away fans. But see, when it comes to like the ownership, see when it comes to fucking Player FC, we are fucking delusional, man. We are absolutely delusional. We're one side, 1958 wanted fucking Ineos. They're like, we'll back Ineos. We'll back Ineos. They've made us a worse state than what, like, even worse state than what the Glazers have done. And I'm saying that right now, man. It's a fucking disgrace. I rest my fucking case. Big up to the people. Hit the likes. Free Palestine every fucking day, man.
I think I just had to be quiet. I think me and Lusso had to just do a night.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
Apologies.
Apologies.
No. Why are you apologizing? Never apologize.
I know.
You're at the therapy, mate. You're at the right place. Get it out. Get it out. Big up to everybody. Big up to ITN saying that talk about it. We don't just talk about the Glazers or Muppets, but everything goes back to them. Everything goes back to modern football is about us. You are only good as your owners. I repeat, modern football, back in the day, it was your local millionaire that owned the football club. Yeah? And because there wasn't a lot of money around, if you had the resources, you actually went and challenged for trophies, right? Now, it's the billionaire class have took over football. And they think they can do austerity on Manchester United and make cuts and expect Manchester United to compete. We're going to get to our second story tonight, which is in Bermo, which I feel really bad and sorry for him. He needs to go and get another move to another football club who's playing in the Champions League, and he needs to get on with his career other than hanging around, waiting around for Manchester United. But at the end of the day, people, you just remember which YouTubers were calling it out and which were following the bullshit thing about the football club. We were calling it out in real time. I was going berserk, Ben, about what was happening to Tuanzebe. I was like, where's Tuanzebe? What's happened to him? And there wasn't even any information being communicated to the fan base. Everybody was like, where's Tuanzebe? What's happened to him? And I remember telling Aaron and Saeed, I was like, there's something happened. Aaron and Saeed, I was like, Aaron, something's rough, something's going on. Aaron knows him. Aaron knew people who know him. Some of Aaron's family and cousins know Tuanzebe. And I was like, can you find out what's happened to him? He's like, no, he's injured. He's injured. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? Yeah. So he's not come and made this claim by the win. I'm trying to break it down for people who don't understand the laws when you sue somebody, Ben. And I'm trying to explain to people, you have to have your legal team have to be super confident that there's a case to be answered for and that you've got the right experts. They've gone through your medical history at Manchester United with tooth and comb and actually found the evidence, strong evidence, to suggest you're going to be able to win the suit. And majority of these things, because the club don't want to be exposed in court, what they do is they settle it out of court because they don't want the embarrassment. They don't want the embarrassment, Ben. They don't want the embarrassment. So for me, when I look at Martial, career ruined. Rashford altered the way he played. He no longer got that explosive pace because he was played to death. Pogba, I never forget. Pogba went, I went to Dubai. I was like, no, I'm not even here recovering here. I'm going to stay with the team that I employed to help me recover. So at the end of the day, that also is with Oli. Because he came out and was like, the players are not robust enough.
Remember that.
Robust, he kept talking about. And I remember at the time, I kept saying, Ollie, the football you left is not the football you're coming back to. And I also said, the footballers that play now, they play totally different shoes. They're not the same. The amount of games that they play is not the same. The intensity levels are not the same. So stop this BS. The club where you were at, Manchester United, were ahead of everybody when it comes to everything. They were so far ahead. And it's an incredibly stable football club. So at the end of the day, but people, honestly, I don't know what you're watching tonight, people. But we haven't even got 100 likes yet. And I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. Because I'm just embarrassed on your behalf. Big up, Bledsoe. Listen, obviously, I said it yesterday on the Straight Jacket. I said it to Saeed. I said either the Ekatike is going to Newcastle to replace Isak,
Isaac.
or they're going to play with Isak. But then David Einstein, Newcastle got in touch with him and said, you better change that tweet. And he changed it. And he said, Ekatike is going to play with Isak. And like, we already know, man, that
We knew.
Liverpool, Newcastle are not thick. They're not going to sell Isak for 100-something million and then go and try to buy Ekatike. No, they're going to get Ekatike for about 65 million pounds, right? 75 million euros, and then go and let him go, and then they've got the money. So they already, that's what clubs do. That's why I don't understand about the Imbermo deal. Why? That clause, that buyout clause for Cunha was there. You know, I should have just said to him, listen, we'll leave it there. Go and get Imbermo first. Because Cunha wanted to come to Manchester United. Go and get Imbermo first.
Facts.
And now, Brentford are telling United about Cunha, saying, well, you pay that much for Cunha, and Imbermo actually scored 20 goals. And by the way, people, some of you, look, the way you're carrying on, thinking that Imbermo and Cunha are going to take us to 5th or 4th, you're having a fucking laugh. You're having a fucking laugh. Look at both Brentford and Wolves have better season than us, but they struggle. They're mid-table mediocre, even with those two players. So the idea that you guys think, Lesso, that Umbermo and Cunha are going to give us levels, it's laughable. The midfield is shit. Your defense is shit. The goalkeeper is shit. The brand is shit. Lesso, if you're Umbermo, are you thinking, what the fuck have I done? Why have I thrown my lot with this lot? I could have gone to Spurs. I could have gone to Newcastle.
No, 100,
what do you think?
100. Yeah, man. I mean, with the Mbuemo one, I think I called this out as well. I was wondering why he was not signed first before Cunha, especially when they knew it made sense actually, to sign someone who does not have a definitive price over someone who already has a clause, and then you already know more or less um, basically you already know more or less how much they cost. Like, I never understood the logic. It's sad, but like I say, with Manchester United, how do you expect competence? And people, I don't know how people actually back anything these guys did. I told you by January, if you do not sign anyone, how are you backing these guys? How are you expecting? Especially when you consider the fact that they said in February that that's when they're going to start planning. That was already a red flag for everyone. And for me, after January, having seen January go by, I knew in the summer they're going to struggle to sign. You knew this. So I don't know how people could overlook such small and definitive things happening right in front of you. And and it's unfortunate because supporters are so much far up in your ass, and it's not even funny. We find ourselves arguing with other United fans more than we argue with rivals. Rival fans are looking at this and they're laughing, and it's funny because it's a civil war at the moment, among the fan base, because there's people who still believe in this and will tell you that it takes 3 or 4 summers to build a team. These are the things these are the things I have to reply to. I don't even reply anymore, when someone writes something like that. I just leave it alone, because for my own mental welfare, I cannot engage in such arguments, because if you cannot see what is happening, then that's that for me, and unfortunately we are suffering because of this sort of thing. These guys can't even get 2 deals done, and it's midway through July. This is disgusting. Like, I remember someone saying, I've never seen this before, ever, at any football club. I've never seen people who talk about going for a rebuild, and they've only got 1 player in by July. Manchester United are literally the first team to do this. Like, in all my life, I've been watching football. Even the smaller clubs, they'll get rid of everything and they'll start from scratch. So what is it? What's really happening at Manchester? Because that's the question. that needs to be raised, and it's not even funny anymore because even the rival fans are saying whatever is happening at your club, it's not normal. If people who don't like this football club are telling you what is happening isn't normal, what more do you need? So we're a walking red flag. We're not a football club anyway. We are Chester United. We feed everyone. You don't have to be qualified here. I mean, you look at the only qualified person we had in Dan Ashworth. He was the only one qualified to be a sporting director, by the way. And he's the one who
Facts.
goes. You had Ralph Ragnick, the same one. He's the only one who was capable and qualified to have a diagnosis on the team and then actually to rebuild the team because he has done it countless of times. Guess what? He got sacked. So anyone who whistle blows or does not agree and go with the agenda of the rest of these guys, donut heads within the football club, they sack them. It's not a coincidence at all. That's why I'm telling you that there's some malpractice that is really happening within that football club. And you see it, it's not even just in football, it's in all institutions. If the institution is corrupt to the core, anyone who's competent gets sacked. They get threatened, they either get sacked, or it's either one of the two. And at Manchester United, that's exactly what's happening. It's sad, but that's exactly what's happening. And you know what?
That's so your voice is dropping a little bit. Can you speak up a bit louder?
Me.
Yeah, go ahead. A lot better now.
Better.
Yeah, I think it's my yeah, I think it's my headpiece. But all in all, man, I mean, like I said, with that Ben's legendary rant, by the way, I agree, firmly agree with everything he said. That's why I had to be quiet because he said everything I needed to hear, or rather, everything that I've said countless of times sitting alone. I speak to myself these days because of Manchester United. So hearing it from someone else, speak everything and putting it out there, it's kind of refreshing. But all in all, that institution, guys, needs to be investigated and heavily. Some investigation needs to be done within Manchester United. And it's not a joke at this point because, like I say, there's lives and people's mental well being that's being affected by this. And it's not just on the football pitch. Like we say, it's deeply rooted within, the structures, the higher ups. So, but there's a huge money laundering. Like I saw someone actually mention it amongst the chat. With the whole money laundering that's happening in Manchester, it could be a thing because you look at some of these deals. Unfortunately, inflated prices that are put on purpose. The club spends a lot of money on inflated transfer fees, and you think that people are pocketing from this. I mean, you look at the Tanakh thing, and with these agency, how we let the Mason Mount price go up on purpose. We were still flixed out of that debt, out of that deal. We let them charge us over, and you go there with Anthony, the same thing. You go back with as well as who else was it that we overpaid for? Hoyland, same thing. So guys, the dots that not always I always say, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I always say that the money trail doesn't lie. That's when you know who is involved and what is happening, and you know that there's a lot of malpractice been happening, money laundering within Manchester United, and nobody wants to have that conversation. It's not an attack on the football club, but you can see it happening. It's common sense if you think about it, and unfortunately, until these guys are gone, the owners are gone, everything is torn apart, and we start from scratch with someone who actually knows how to run this football club, employs people who are actually qualified in what they need to do, and this job for the boys goes out the window. None of this is going to stop. you know, and unfortunately, you're gonna see more people get sacked. You're gonna see more people get injuries, and their careers being ruined. And it's gonna continue. It's gonna continue, and people need to make peace with that until we get these people out. You have to boycott. We have to do things that we're uncomfortable in doing. If you love the football club, unfortunately, you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice. It's not about us anymore. It's not about whether I want to go or I want to go to the games or I want to do this. It's about the saving what you love at the end of the day. And we have to make these sacrifices. In life, you have to make sacrifices for every to get the outcome result. You know, you look at Burkina Faso, they made the sacrifice. You know, they made the sacrifice to win back their government and to remove the government, to remove the corruption, and to start from scratch and tear everything apart. You know, it takes guts. Unfortunately, that's what we need to be doing at Manchester United. And we have to, you know, and unfortunately, they've bought some of, like we said, they've bought some of the fan groups, the guys within the fan groups, because all they need is like maybe two or three people to just turn the narrative within each fan group. You know, they may not have bought all the entire fan groups, but unfortunately, they've bought some people within these fan groups because that's why nothing ever gets happen on a consistent basis. You know, and we are where we are. You know, and we also haven't helped ourselves as the fan base because we are allowing these guys to get away with the murder that they're getting away with at this current point. But yeah, no, everyone smashed the like button, man. And especially after the big Ben's rant, you know, we deserve to be on more than 100 likes, you know,
Absolutely.
easily. So
Big up,
big
bro.
up.
Always, Bran. Always.
Yeah, big up.
Nah,
Let's
man. Nah, man. See with like Mbumo, like I feel so sorry for him, man, because you know he's told the club he wants to leave. But Nerd, you just hit an absolute insane point. The smart option would be to go for Mbumo first, not for Cunha. The thing is with Man United, like and any club in the world, no matter how shit you are doing with negotiations with clubs, the release clause negotiations are the most easiest thing in the world because like the club sets a target, right? He's worth that. Man United go and pay for him. That's it. That's it done. Whereas in Mbumo, he has no release clause. So Brentford are the boss, not Man United. Brentford are the boss. They have a right to say Mbumo's worth 80
demand.
million. Yeah, demand. Mbumo's worth 80 million. Take it or leave it. Okay, so it's basically United's fault. I don't know. A lot of people are gonna say Brentford taking the fucking piss. They might be taking the piss. He's got 1 year left in his contract. I don't believe he's worth 65 million. I think we should be getting him around 50 to 52 million, like 100%. But this is just where we're at. I've always, but in like previous years with Ineos, with before Ineos were here as well, we've always had deals better in terms of like what release clause signings instead of just no release clause signings. Like we've actually took longer. Like I remember Jadon Sancho, the first year when he didn't come to Man United, Borussia Dortmund said his release clause was worth like I think it was like 80 million pounds or some shit. And Man United were like, I might leave it for another year. We'll go back in for him again. And they went back for him, and they still bought the exact same price as Dortmund went last year. So I was like saying, so you've just bought what Dortmund asked from last year, but why didn't you do it the previous year? Why'd you just do it, man? If you need this, the thing is, Mbumo's a club signing. He's not an Amram signing. He's not. It's the same with Cunha. Cunha is not an Amram signing. He's a club signing. We just need to buy club signings, and I don't want to buy players for the manager. Look, he suits the system, but the two players suit in a variety of systems. That's the most important thing we need to get around here. It's just, why did we have to go and buy Cunha first when Mbumo's going to be a harder deal? When the goalkeeper's going to be a harder deal if there's no release clause like in it. When they're midfielder, like wing back or defender, and list goes fucking on and on and on. But it's just a top club would have bought Mbumo first instead of Cunha. It's just so common sense because you don't really have to go to Wolves and say, "How you doing? We're here to negotiate." No. How you doing? I hear you put £62.5 million on Cunha. We want to buy him. Let's do business. There you go. That's it. Done. Whereas Brentford, how you doing? We're looking to buy Mbumo. Okay, 75 million. Right, okay, right. Let me see. Okay. We could do 63 plus add-ons. No, we want 75. Okay, 68 plus add-ons. No, we want 75. 75 million. That's it. Right? So It's us. It's on us. It always will be on us. It's not on Brentford. People can say Brentford, like, he's not worth 75 million. What the fuck are you on about? What phone are you on about? It's on us. You just move on to the next player. We can't be looking at players for Amram. We have to look at players that for the future of this club. Amram is not, in my opinion, he's not the right. I don't think he's the man to take us forward. But we just need players that, if Amram gets sacked for the next manager, okay, does he like Mbumo? Does he like Cunha? Does he like, all these players we're gonna if we sign fucking this summer? It's just that we just need to act more smarter, man, and we're not. And the fact that Jason Wilcox is director of football or sporting director, it's just fucking embarrassing. He's not qualified. That Leicester was spot on. Dan Ashworth's the only person that was qualified. It's Mr. Potato Head. He wasn't even a CEO. He was COO of Manchester City, and we bought him as a CEO. You got two people in that backroom staff that are our main guys, and they're not qualified. They're actually physically not qualified. So here, I'm a qualified engineer, manufacturing engineer. Can I be qualified for an electrical engineer? No, because I don't know electrical stuff. I only know manufacturing stuff. This doesn't make any sense. Like, that's how Man United just operated there. Wilcox is basically prioritizing all the academy players, like recruiting for the academy. Barada, fuck knows what he is, mate, because he's definitely not doing well in terms of the commercial side of things for Man United. But nah, man, like that's the Mbumo thing out of the way. I just think when it comes to like the whole like suing and stuff, those 500 employees or more, or whoever it was that got sacked by Manchester United when Sir Jim told them they had to leave, I would love each and every single one of those employees that got sacked to put a claim in, because I did it 3 years ago. I worked for a company. I'm not going to name the company, and I was there for about 4 or 5 years, an engineering company, and they came to me and said, look, we're gonna have to let you go because we're running out of money, and we've got too many staff on board. And although I was there for 5 years and I loved the job, loved the company, they said we're gonna have to let you go. So what I did, I was really upset, obviously, because I loved the job. My missus said to me, why don't you put an unfair dismissal? Put an unfair dismissal and see what happens. Went to the solicitor, put an unfair dismissal, took the company to court. Guess who won? Me. Put an unfair dismissal, and I got obviously, got a wee bit of a reward. But that's, see those 500 employees, they should be doing the exact same thing. And you know what? Man United, obviously, it's fucking huge. It's huge. They'll be doing everything in their fucking power for the employees not to fucking win. But at least
they probably put them on statutory redundancy, Ben, and that's why they can't go to the fucking. They probably put them on
it's embarrassing. It's
statutory redundancy.
It's embarrassing, and honestly, it's just fucking mental what they did to him. Like, he probably said, "Oh, look, we'll give you this if you don't sue us, for unfair dismissal." Fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. The list goes on. They're trying to paper over the cracks. You spoke about it earlier on. They don't want to have this out in public. They want to take it to courts. I hope Axel Tuanzebe actually, succeeds in this sue, and hopefully there's more players on the list that can join Axel. And just what, like I said again, hurts the Glazers' pockets, hurts Ineos' pockets, and nothing makes me more happier, man. And you know what? People said, Ben, I'm trying to find it here. Ben's lost it. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm not, man. I'm like, obviously I set my rant, but I'm fucking. I just want a relegation at this point. I'm happy that we're not in for players at the same time, because I want this club to suffer even more, man. I want this club to suffer. Like, although we're down rock bottom at the moment, but I want this to go even more down, even though you can't go underneath of rock bottom, but you can. But honestly, man, big up anyways.
Yeah, big up. I should have done this at the beginning, but I was too hot-headed. Because before Ben's rant, I had my rant as well, because I was calling this out. We were calling this out in real time when this shit was happening. But it says Manchester United defender Axel Tuanzebe suing the club alleged negligent medical advice. 27-year-olds who joined Burnley earlier this month filed a legal claim with the High Court against Manchester United last week. It relates to a period from July 2022 involving an unknown injury and is considered a high-value claim, which is understood to be more than £1 million. Tuanzebe was out for about 195 days in his final season at the club before he was loaned to Stoke in January 2003, where he made just 5 appearances. He joined the club when he was 8, making his debut in 2017 and played 37 times for them before leaving the summer 2023, joining Ipswich as a free agent last September. The right back captained United at every level, and his final appearance for the club was 2021 Europa League final loss to Villarreal, where he scored in the shootout as they lost 11-10 on penalties. The former England under-21 international, who now represents the DRC Congo, has also had 3 spells on loan at Aston Villa, while he had spent time at Napoli in 2022. Tuanzebe's lawyers, Simon Moorhead, Burton, and United both declined to comment when approached by the BBC Sport. So most likely, because he's made it public now, he's made it public. So he's most likely, what they'll do is United will try to bury this and they'll settle out of court, because he must have some serious evidence to bring this law. You don't bring this type of claim. It's very rare. This type of claim, you don't bring it unless you've got some serious evidence. So we'll see. Let me just get this big up. Redstone said, Ipswich are hopefully keeping hold of Amari Hutchinson after Branfield failed to trigger his release clause today. They made an offer after the date well below. Yeah. Big up. Listen, I know people got to go. I'll check this DM from Ben, and then we can then go. Yeah. Let me just go at this.
Actually, it actually could be important for the fan base, should we say? Because
you want me to show the clip? Yeah.
Yeah, facts. Because this is a rival. This is a rival fans in this. So, a rival fan. Big up to Steve. Anyways, a rival fan saying this, it actually leaves me kind of embarrassed.
The bullshit songs again. If you spend more energy on focusing on the protests and getting these losers out of the football club, they might actually get somewhere, but they don't. They fucking have a little bit of a protest, and then they're back in the souvenir shop buying all Man United sweatbands and fucking curtains, and then they fucking back out there singing the bullshit songs again. But they just...
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can banter us because we get bantered by the owners every week.
Speaks facts.
Yeah, we get bantered.
Big up Steve.
Yeah. He actually would like to. I have banter with Steve. He actually would like United and City fighting for the big trophies.
Absolutely.
So we can get the banter, where both clubs are going for it. But yeah. Big up, Big Steve. Listen, people, we're gonna redirect you We're gonna try to redirect you to Saeed, who's live right now. Big up to everybody. Free Palestine. Free the Congo. Free Sudan. Free Tigray, free all of it, free everybody. So people need to just remember that, like what we're talking about here in Manchester United, they're absolutely. And when people, you know what the thing about it, I always thought, Nerdin, what you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, in terms of, people think that I'm a madman. I'm a conspiracy theorist. What was I talking about? What was I asking about? Why was I asking about Tuanzebe? Why I was saying about the injuries? Why I was complaining about the injuries to these players? What's happening to the football club? How come injured players are playing and club being played? Why is Ollie chatting shit about this robust business? But people, we're gonna send you now over to Saeed. Free Palestine, free Ireland. Free the Congo, free Sudan, free Tigray, free everywhere where people are oppressed. Free Lebanon. Fuck fucking the leader of Syria. Fuck all these Arab fucking so-called leaders in the Middle East. Bunch of fucking coward Zionist fucking dogs. You're all dogs. You're all fucking bootlicking, you bootlick the Zionists. Fuck you. Free Iran from fucking Zionist attacks and the US fucking attacks. Fuck Trump. Epstein, he's in the tapes. Release the Epstein tapes. Who do you think? Tell us now. Who did Ghislaine Maxwell traffic all these young girls to, these children to? Who? Why is she in jail for 20 years? Release them. All of them are involved. Bill Gates, all of them, they're all involved. They're all on the flight logs. Bill Clinton, they're all on the flight logs, mate. All of them are. Big up Yemen. Fuck the GCSEs. No exam results will ever define you as a human being as well. While we're there. Fuck the Zionists. Fuck the genocidal bastards. We know who you are. We know who you are. You genocidal bastards. We know who you are. Solidarity and love to all the Palestinians worldwide. Big up to everybody. Big up to free fucking South Africa from fucking corruption as well. From the fucking involvement of fucking Zionists trying to stick their noses in that country as well. And the multinational corporations who are raping and pillaging the fucking Africa's resources. Big up Tigray. Big up the Sahel region. Big up all the people resisting colonization, imperialism. Solidarity and up the fucking Irish. United Ireland.
Always, bro. Always. Chucky or la.
Yeah, chuck it up fucking la. Up the fucking Irish. Right, people. You know what? Smash a like on the video. Our target. Unfortunately, we've not reached it. Let me just have a look. Let me just have a look at where we are. Let me just have a look at where we are at the poll.
Are we 100 likes?
Let me have a look where we are on the poll. So 80 fucking something, 80 something we're on in terms of the poll. Last time I checked. So 80 fucking something, 80 something. The poll is 88% said yes. Should Manchester United players sue Manchester United for medical neglect? And do you remember the Ollie Robust BS talk? 88% of you said yes, 12% of you said no, right? Big up to everybody. Fuck the Glazers, fucking Ineos each and every day. Big up, love, take care, look after each other. Big up to Susie, big up to Carla, big up to all the mods. Love and light, take care, people. Big up everybody who got involved. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Love. Make sure you check out Ben at Elmore39. He's a serious gamer. Make sure you follow him. Do you actually on your do you ever play on live on Twitch? Gaming? I do, yeah. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to his Twitch. Can you, Ben, also do me a favor next time? Can you put your Twitch ad on there as well, please?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
As well, yeah.
Big up,
big up
send me.
Yeah, big up Lesso Football TV. Make sure you check him out at Black Rain on X as well. At Black Rain. Love people. Take care. Look after each other. Let me redirect you to Saeed.
Pick up the side. Pick up the side.
Yeah. Yeah. Big up. Love. Take care. Go over there and do Saeed raid, yeah? Nuruddin, United Real Therapy raid. Take care. Peace. Take care. Good night.